What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Inner Ivy. My name's Charles Ivy, but my friends all know me as Chuckles, so feel free to call me that if you want. This is day 3 of my Stand for Something challenge videos. I committed to you guys to do 30 videos in 30 days. It's a video a day, and man, I gotta be honest with you, did I bite off more than I could chew, really. I didn't realize how hard this was gonna be for me, actually standing and stuff. You haven't heard this part of my story yet, but I've spent a lot of time laying in the bed. So standing up is definitely a difficult challenge for me, and I think that was a little bit apparent if you saw my video yesterday. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me and hanging through all of it. It's rough, but I committed to you guys, and I wanna keep that commitment and honor that to you. So also, I did also tell you that I want to start taking questions from you guys and answering questions from you. I'm gonna do it here in the sit down portion of my stand-up videos because honestly, I can't really stand that long, and I want to get through as much of my story as I can so we can start, so you guys can get some background and we can start moving into what I'm currently doing. Okay, and we can shift into that. I want you to get to know me first, but so I told you guys I wanted to send you guys to send me in videos, and somebody did. Not a video, actually, but a bunch of questions. So this was on a Reddit post that I posted, and it was some feedback that I got, and they left this great list of questions. So I wanted to go ahead and answer those for you. I'm going to do them here because, like I said, I just can't stand that long. So this is from Dr. Horriblub. I think that's how you pronounce it. If not, buddy, I'm sorry. But I just asked if there was anything he wanted to know, anything he wanted me to put in the video, and he sent back this list of questions. So the first question is, how do you stay motivated / disciplined on days when you feel discouraged? The answer to that question, man, is sometimes I don't. Sometimes I fall, sometimes I screw up. You guys have, if you've seen my videos, the last video anyway, or some of my Instagram posts, you'll know that it's not always easy to do this. But really, one of the main ways is I'm at a point in my life that if I don't do this, I'm gonna die. So it's really a life and death situation for me. I know not everybody's in that. Not everybody is in that place. So I would just say, to stay motivated and disciplined, just surround yourself with people that are of the same mindset as you. And if you can't surround yourself with those type of people, if you're just surrounded by, toxic people or even healthy people that don't need to do anything, whatever the case may be, just get some people in your corner that have been where you are and that have got to where you're going. So that would be my short answer on that. Do you have any advice on getting past the 24 and 48 hour points while fasting? Those are the worst periods, especially if you're just starting fasting. 24 hours isn't super bad if you've gone any time without food, if you've done some intermittent fasting or whatever. But if you're going cold turkey 24 hours without food, you start getting withdrawals from the sugar and stuff, if that's the lifestyle you're living. So really, I just drink the snake juice. I've slept through some of them. It kind of depends on where I'm at in my headspace. I just try to stay focused on other things, and I just try not to dwell on it too much, because hunger, once you're past the physical hunger, it's just a mental game. So keep yourself distracted, and you should be able to get through that. What differences have you noticed in how you feel since losing 100+ pounds? Non-scale related victories. Well, I drove my car. If you check out my Instagram, there's a highlight video of that. But I was able to drive my car for the first time in 7 years. So that's a non-scale victory for sure. Other than the traditional things, my clothes fitting better and being able to move around better, and being able to stand for you guys. I wouldn't be able to get a minute out, last year this time. So those are some non-scale victories. And then you say here, also in your video, you talked about emotional hunger, wanting to feel full just because that's how you feel something. I have that problem too. A lot of the time when I want to eat, it's not because my body is hungry, it's because I'm bored or sad. Have you found anything that helps with this? I think I touched on this a little bit earlier in one of your other questions, but boredom is the number one killer of your goals and your direction on this path. I felt I ate to fill a void, right? When you're bored, you're also in a void. You're not doing anything. You're not filling your life with a purpose. And I think that that's probably the biggest thing. And, you know, Cole showed me that, and good buddy of mine, you know, my personal trainer, Josh, he showed me that you have to have goals and you have to have purposes, and not just in your weight loss, but in your life in general. So without those things, it's impossible. So find those things in yourself, and you should be able to get through it. And then lastly, you said, what do you do for fun, and do you have any hobbies? I have tons of hobbies. I sing, I play guitar sometimes, I play video games, I draw, I do graphic design, you name it, I've done it. You'll hear later on that I've had a lot of time on my hands. So I've developed a lot of hobbies that have occupied my time. But none of them I really dedicated myself to, just like I never dedicated myself to losing weight. But that's all changing. So, you know, maybe we'll hear more about those in the laters. In the laters? Later. So, I just want to thank you, man, for replying to this Reddit post and for writing out those questions, taking the time to do that. I appreciate it. All of you guys, it means the world to me, really. So with those out of the way, got you taken care of, bud. Let's move on, and I'll talk a little bit about where I'm at as far as my weight goes. I weighed in this morning. If you're on my Instagram channel, you would have seen the footage on that. If I uploaded it, I can't remember, honestly. If not, I will. By the time this video comes out, my weigh-in from today will be up on my Instagram channel. So check that out. But to give you a sneak peek, I did lose weight yesterday. It was the last day of my 72-hour fast. I do have a refeed coming up today, and I lost 9 pounds yesterday. So I'm actually 2 pounds less than I was when I screwed up and gained 11 pounds. So I've lost the weight that I put on plus 2. So 620 is where I'm at today, and you'll have to come back tomorrow to find out what happens then. So we'll move on past that. But let's see, are there any logistical things I wanted to take care of? Nope, we're good. So with that all done, let's go ahead and get into the stand-up portion of my stand-up challenge. I will tell you guys, if you saw my video yesterday, it was a struggle. I actually sat down, but you know what? I fought for myself and I got back up, and I'm pretty proud of that. So you guys are a big part of pushing me to just be able to do more and believe in myself. So I appreciate all of you. But with that being said, it was longer than I have stood before, and I am super sore today, very sore, which is probably why I'm procrastinating and standing up, and I just need to go ahead and get after it. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so yesterday we left off, I believe it was high school. I was the 400-pound high school kid just graduating. You know, at that point I was done with high school. I could have gone to college, you know, could have got some scholarships, that kind of thing, but I was done. You know, being 400 pounds in high school, in and out of a wheelchair and stuff, you become a real easy target. And I'd had enough. So I just stayed home and went to work, and I just was a 19-year-old. Just made money and did what I did, and started hanging out with my friends and everything. When I was 16, I got involved in a church, in a youth ministry in a church, and I was there for quite a long time, from the time I was 16, and I was the leadership in the church, and I was in the praise and worship team in the church, and that was a big part of my life. So I was pretty happy at that point in my life. I was able to walk around, not as much as I wanted to, but I was able to get around more and able to drive and hang out with people and stuff. But I was kind of just living life. I was eating the fast food and hanging out with the people in the youth group were younger than me. They were all in their teens and stuff. So I was mentoring them and hanging out with them, and we'd go to fast food and we eat all that stuff, and I tried to tell myself that I was just doing what they were doing and eating what they were eating, and in reality I was eating 2 or 3 times what they were eating of the same things, and it just wasn't what I made it out to be. I was just a normal kid. Well, I wasn't a kid at that point. I was getting into my late 19s and 20s. But I just wanted to have fun, and I didn't really get to experience my childhood, because of all the things I talked about yesterday, all the surgeries and stuff. So I was just, I was really a big kid at heart, to be perfectly honest with you. But I lived in that lifestyle for quite some time and was happy, I was happy. And one day, I was just playing around with one of my buds. We were just horse playing in the house. I know there seems to be a trend here of bad events. Maybe I should stop horse playing. You're right, Mom. But we were horse playing and just slap boxing, and I turned around wrong and I caught my flip flop, and next thing you know, I was laying on the floor. I'd fallen, just a normal fall, but I was around 580 pounds at that point. Several years after high school, and it was about 580 pounds. So that much weight slamming into the ground, I landed on this leg, which is why you see me like getting off of it and leaning off of it some, but this leg, and it ended up fracturing my femur. So there I was, all my friends around me, 580 pounds, laying on the floor with a fractured femur, and I had to wait what seemed like an eternity for a bariatric ambulance to come, and firefighters, and 6 guys roll me onto this tarp and have to drag me out of the house. And you'd think that right there would have been enough to tell me that it was time to change my life, and I'm hard-headed for sure. So I ended up fractured my femur, had to have another surgery on my leg, and spent the next, I think it was around 4 or 5 months in a rehab facility until they released me to go home. The rehab facility, it was in Orlando. They had to find a special one that could take care of somebody that was my size, and I was 45 minutes away from my family and my friends and everything. I still had, some people came and saw me, and select few, but for the most part, I was alone. Luckily they had me on a program. I was working out for rehabilitation and every day, and they fed you 3 times a day what they had on their meal plan and stuff. So I end up losing like 40 pounds while I was in rehab, which was great. But there I was again, in the same place I had been in high school, in a wheelchair, on crutches, and it just sent me back to that emotional place. luckily, well, let's not skip ahead to that. Let's not skip ahead too far, because there's more here to unpack a little bit, I think, as long as I can. So I was involved in the youth ministry and in the praise and worship team and in leadership and everything. And you know, there was a point where a bunch of guys from the church, you know, they saw the path that I was on, and they reached out, and the pastor and stuff reached out to me, and some personal trainers reached out to me, and you know, told me they would pay for my gym membership, and you know, coach me for free and work out with me for free, and all of these things. And you know, I was doing it. I was working out with them and stuff. I was going to the gym for a little while, until I didn't have that drive anymore, and then I started pushing people away, you know, because I didn't want to let anyone down. I was failing, and I didn't want to let anyone down. So I started pushing them away, and just, you know, eventually got to a point where, you know, they stopped trying. You know, that's what happens if you push people away too much. They just stop trying. And you know, the pastor asked me, told me, we need you to step down from the youth ministry, and we need you to focus on your health. And really, as I look back at it, that's what really needed to be done. You know, that's what really needed to be done. I should have done it then, but it didn't feel that way when it happened. And you know, to me, I just saw it as, you know, they want me to focus on my health. No, what they really mean is that I'm too fat. I don't look the part. I'm not capable of ministering to people and stuff, because I look the way that I look, and I felt rejected and alone all over again. And you know, I tried to stick it out, but eventually it led to me just leaving the church and going about my life. That played a big role in what happened to me after my rehabilitation and everything. All right, boys and gals, I'm gonna keep it straight. I am exhausted. I'm exhausted from yesterday. It's sad to me. We'll wrap up the story here. But it hurts me that I can't stand longer than that. But that's the whole point, right? That's the whole point of this series, is to get me standing, and hopefully I get stronger. I will get stronger. I am getting stronger, physically and mentally. And I know I have to push through the pain. I just had I had 3 hours of sleep last night, and you know, because all this brings up some super deep emotions for me. I try to play it off, and I try to laugh through it sometimes, but thinking about these things really take me back to a place that I don't really want to be perfectly honest with you, because I'm afraid that they're gonna derail me and knock me off my journey, because they have before. But I think this time is different. So I'm gonna wrap it up. We'll leave it there. It's a good place to leave it, because tomorrow we're gonna talk about something happy. Yeah, I've talked enough about my trauma for now. There's always trauma wrapped in the happiness, but I'm gonna talk about something good tomorrow. So make sure you just, leave me some comments. I'm eventually gonna run out of stuff to talk about. So please, leave me some questions or some comments or things that you want me to talk about, things that you want to know about, and I'll do my best to start talking about them once we're all cut up in my story to where we are now. I'll go ahead and start doing that for you guys. So I committed to 30 days. So we gotta have 30 days of content. So do me a favor and just, click that like button, subscribe, click that bell notification, and please just, anything you want to know. If it's too risque, be careful. But really, anything you want to know, I'm going to give you guys the honest answer. So fill that out for me. I'll be happy to do it for you. Check out my Instagram and all my social media. It's all the Inner Ivy. It's on Discord and Reddit and all that stuff. It's always the Inner Ivy. Set up a website pretty soon to just hold everything. But I appreciate your support and all the kind words from you guys. I really cannot express to you. I know I sound like a broken record, but I cannot express to you how much your support means to me right now. It really is pushing me forward. I didn't want to do this video today. I didn't. I did not want to set everything up and get out of bed and deal with this again, to be honest. But I want to keep my commitment. So I'll see you tomorrow. Check out my Instagram for the weigh-in video. Thank you very much. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.